Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 with the Chicago White Sox. Um, this was a very lengthy offseason, for sure. We have done a great deal to make the team different. Do we make it better? I think so. Maybe. Possibly. It's certainly not much worse. Yeah. Okay. So, what are some of the big changes we made? Ha-Seong Kim was somebody that we signed for a very small salary. We've got him for the year, and he's going to be a starting shortstop. This isn't necessarily what I wanted, but Arteaga is injured and won't be back for about a month. Um, I'd actually had signed him to play second base, but here we are. Teal's back, Vargas is back, Wilfred Veras is back, although he had a very small role last season. We need more outfielders, and so he was tapped to fill that particular role. Jace Jung is back. Jung had a pretty decent season in the minors. Didn't do so hot in the majors. He was literally replacement level. Hopefully, with another year of experience, he'll prove to be a more effective player. We can only hope, right? Taylor Trammell, we just picked up off of waivers. And hopefully we'll be able to get some decent play out of him because they definitely need help in the outfield. Um, Cam Fisher. Somebody pointed out. Let me quickly go into my YouTube channel because I remember somebody had brought up this exact point about Mr. Fisher here. I want to make sure the person is given credit. Yeah, Ironhead34 says be very, very careful with our good friend Cam. Um, he was fairly close to league average, but he may have already peaked, which I think is a fair point. And one of the things that he recommended that we might want to explore is using money to possibly buy players, possibly just by trading for them, but he also reminded me to check the indie leagues. So we're going to do that first thing. One of my favorite ways to find somebody for the indie leagues is to go into the player finder, and we're going to pick search all leagues, and we're going to start with 50 potential pitchers. And then we're just going to sort here, scroll until we see anybody that's in the indies, and then we can offer them a contract. There are a lot of major leaguers with that level of pitching skill. So that is slowly gumming up the works. The poor Marlins only have 4 such pitchers, which is kind of embarrassing if you're them. Okay, I'm not seeing anybody from an indie league at the moment. I'm only seeing major leaguers. It would be lovely if there was an indie leagues only checkbox. I think that would be very beneficial. Let's look for hitters. Oh, I see. Remembers where I was. Okay. Well, the indie leagues are certainly looking like a bit of a bust, but we might do a more targeted search if nobody here comes to mind. Because here's the thing, a player can still be useful if he's only like a 45 or even 40 overall, but he's less likely to be a star. And we do need stars. We desperately need actual stars. Whether that's developing the ones we've already got, or finding ones to acquire through trade or free agency. Um, okay, maybe the Indies aren't in my league. Is that true? Because I only see the Arizona Fall League and the MLB Draft League, but I don't see. Oh, it might be on a team per team basis. There might not actually look an indie league. It's just indie teams. International League. Like the St. Paul Saints, I know were no, they actually are affiliated now. For the longest time, they weren't. They were an indie league team, but evidently they're not. Curious. Yeah. Hmm. If there was like an indie leaguer, we would have spotted him already, and we can afford to be at least a little bit choosy. But there is something to be said for just offering money to acquire new players. So please give me my team back, you miscreant. There you go. I want to wait a little bit before we spend any money, though. I want to see what kinds of things we actually need. Oh, we didn't talk about the pitching staff, did we? Patrick Sandoval, we signed in free agency. To give us some more veteran experience at the top of the rotation. He's already started to decline, which is a bit embarrassing. He was a 51 at the end of September, and now he is a 49, which is kind of gross, but okay. Um, a lot of these, our bullpen definitely skews old. That's something we're going to want to address. Quality young pitchers are something that we're in need of, but I think every team is. So, um, Dominic Fletcher, who I've protected in so many different ways and just never decided what if we just played him in center field to see what happens. He is going to be an interesting outfielder because he's not very fast. So I'm assuming that means his position ratings and his skill comes from just positioning himself really well, which is certainly a thing that I'm willing to consider. His offensive skill set is likely to be limited. He's not likely to be a great hitter, and he's already 29 years old, which means this is what we're going to get. If he can just give us some stability in center field, I'd be pretty happy about that because Lord knows Jorge Barrosa was a train wreck last year. He was bad. All right. Hopefully, with a new hitting coach and a new pitching coach, we can start seeing some better stuff happening. Let's check the waiver wire one last time. All players. Joe Adele. Um, no, I don't think so. I don't see a fit for him right now. Let's just go to the end of April. We can have Chase Meadroth back. He's actually a really good player, so I'm going to make room for him. It's just a question of whom. And I think it's Luciano. I want Luciano playing every day in AAA over benching in the majors. Because I still think he's got some untapped upside here. And I don't want him to be left out in the cold. So Mr. Luciano kindly return to AAA. Meadroth comes back, and Meadroth is going to go ahead and play a position. So Blaze Alexander is already looking like a mistake. He's a good defensive third baseman. His bat is mid, and I'd rather ship Jace Young over to third and put Meadroth at second. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. We're not gonna get rid of Alexander. We're just gonna bench him in favor of Alexander. Play Young at third, Meadroth at second, and then he's gonna hit basically where Kim is right now because he's just that good at getting on base, and that's what we need right now. We need a good on base dude. So we're gonna pretend you're playing second, and you're playing third. Meadroth instantly slots back in at second. And then, last but certainly not least, we're going to rebuild the depth chart, and it's probably going to want him to play a whole lot. Nope. I don't want Barossa playing this frequently. Um, I think once every 5 games is probably fine for both positions. I think that's acceptable. I don't want Password just constantly playing at DH either. Um, I need to see what Fisher can offer me, and that means giving him that opportunity. That means Fisher playing where appropriate. And again, same issue, right? Same issue. Um, so if you watch Monday's video, I talked a little bit about why does AI actually matter. This is one reason that AI actually matters. Um, My guess is that let's see, it's the bench coach who makes the decision, right? Let's look at McKinven's preferences because I bet he prefers veterans. Yeah, he does. So this is one reason why you need to keep a close eye on your younger coaches. It's really important. Because they will skew how the auto thing works. He does like OBP, which I appreciate, but he's very, very, very much prefers veterans to prospects. And so we want to keep our eyes peeled for that. We want to make sure that we're acknowledging that we need more power in this lineup. We could use a big old thumper. Maybe Braden Montgomery. I don't know. Maybe. Oh, right. Let's just get some more games under our belts before we make any other decisions here. Remember, don't pull the trigger too early. Taylor Tremmel has bone marrow edema. That's terrible. I feel bad for you, my dude. So, we could call up Montgomery. That is an option available to us. We could bring up my hovercraft is full of Yules. Maybe, maybe, maybe. Montgomery has so little time in AAA. I don't think he's ready for the majors yet. I want to see him develop a little bit more. Kyle Karros is also very much a work in progress. Sterling Thompson is fine, I suppose. He doesn't necessarily fill me with joy. Let's do a quick check on our who's next up, right? Like who's the next guy up for right field? They're all younger players, which is kind of what I was afraid of. Hmm. Curious. Okay. Well, all of our we don't really have a clear next man up here, so I think we try Sterling Thompson. He's not necessarily a great player, but he's an okay one, and I think he's as good as anybody. And then maybe we just give a guy like Barossa or Password more opportunities. With Thompson. Oh, it is full, isn't it? I mean, he could call up Judd Fabian again. Maybe that's the move. Maybe it's Judd Fabian because he's already on the 40 man. Maybe. Maybe. Hostinson, do we put you in right field all the time now? I mean, you're definitely better against lefties, but it's not like you can't hit righties. It looks like your gap power is significantly less. I think it's probably fine to let you just play right field every day right now. And then I hate doing this, but at least it's the same lineup now, so I can just do this once. Once every 7 games is fine. Once every 4 games is too much. Yeah, this is fine. And I'm just gonna casually copy the depth chart and paste it. There we go. Got to keep an open mind. Got to keep an open mind. Hey, we're winning a fair few games, which is pretty impressive. Okay. How is Kim doing? Kim is pretty bad. Hmm. Yeah, if we look at my extra special defensive statistics, what is Kim's major malfunction? I wonder. He's just fucking shit up at a pretty high rate. I think replacing Kim is perfectly reasonable with Artiaga. Um, so I guess this means Blaze Alexander is the odd man out, or it could be Kim. So Kim is an okay second baseman, but if I have Meadroth and Meadroth is playing second base, I don't need him. So let's try to trade Kim. Let's see if anybody's interested in Mr. Ha-seong Kim. If anybody is like, holy shit, that guy. What do we? What a key to our World Series goals? Hmm. This is frankly better than I expected. Let's have a peeky peek at Kadim Dia. He is a thoroughly unremarkable outfielder who happens to be able to handle center field in a pinch. While this isn't necessarily like the height of Major League Baseball genius moves, it's not like he's valueless. And I think we have to be a little cautious about if we try to hold out for things that we shouldn't be. Jacob Hall is uninteresting. I I mean he's having an amazing year at A ball, but he's also 24 and shouldn't be in A ball. He's very, very old for. Oh, he's actually in rookie league right now. Yeah, this guy is trash. A player 24 years old should be playing in A ball. Ideally, 24. You're looking at Double A already. If he was that good, they wouldn't have buried him that deep. Yamal Encarnacion. No, I think we just take Dia here. Can you get some international bonus pool? I'll take it. Done. Now, this does leave us in a bit of a dangerous situation. Specifically, if in the future we don't have anybody to play shortstop, we're going to have to scramble. But I think Kim was always going to be a short-term acquisition, and I think moving on early is a reasonable choice. I don't think that's an issue for me. Peyton Eels. I feel like Eels needs to be given an opportunity in the majors here before too much longer. He's proven he knows what he's doing in AAA. I just don't have a ready spot for him. And I don't even know what position he plays for us, unless we just put him in as like an extra outfielder. I don't know, man. I don't know. He could be an really good player, and we just don't know. Just don't know. Caleb Perkins is losing velocity, which is concerning to me. Nobody ever gets. Okay, here we go. Now I get some people that are getting pluses. That's good. Yorgier Bautista's getting better. Nate Fluelling. He has to be. He has to be like fucking Welsh, right? Like that seems pretty likely to me. With a name like that, he's very Welsh. Okay. There's nothing major here. Yorgier Bautista is somebody I definitely want to keep a close eye on. I think he's got some pretty decent potential, especially because he's an amazing center fielder. So if he can perform well, he's still super young. He's only 19 years old. He's already playing an A ball. If he can build on his success, I think he's got a chance to actually be a starter for us. Maybe not a star, but certainly not an afterthought either. Marco Luciano getting worse makes me sad. That is a thing which saddens me. Yeah. We need a better and more reliable bullpen. I think this is something I'm quickly becoming more certain about. Do we have any young relievers that are just waiting for an opportunity? Chase Lee is. I mean, younger. He's 28. Um, yeah. All of our bullpen people are really old, which I think is our biggest issue right now. I'm not saying that an improvement in the bullpen would actually make that big a difference, but let's keep going. Let's go for another month and then reevaluate. We look at our overall numbers here. Our bullpen looks really bad. Basically, our pitching staff total looks bad. Now hopefully getting Arteaga back will start making that less terrible. Because he's a really good shortstop, and then hopefully stabilize some of our more ground ball dependent pitchers. We're also not hitting very well. Yeah, it's happening again. Wilfred Veras is doing okay. This is an acceptable line from an outfielder. I just wish we were getting more. Um, man, we're just so bad offensively. Like, we're getting on base at a good clip. We're still not a very effective run scoring offense. Like, nobody that's on up scares anybody, except for maybe Kyle Teal, I guess. Kyle Teal is still a high quality player, so at least we have that to be grateful for. Let's just go ahead and sim another month, and then we'll go from there. Ooh, I got an achievement for a 9-game run streak. Fun. I've never gotten all the achievements on OOTP because some of them involve perfect team, which is just not something that interests me. But yeah, okay, we have Taylor Trammell back. Um, he's better than Judd Fabian, so I guess we bring him back. Maybe. Yeah, we do that. We do that thing. But I think I'm just gonna let Password keep playing a little bit longer and see if he can prove himself worthy of our time and attention. I'll let Trammell back up and I guess Trammell was actually kind of crushing it. Maybe this is fine. If we let is Garcia showing a split? By the way, I noticed this has been missing for a while. It's kind of annoying to me. I dislike very strongly that it took splits out of the statistical view. I don't know whether this was done deliberately or it's just a mistake, but I really dislike it if this is something that they did deliberately. Um, is it like a setting now? Is that what it is? Is it a setting? Doesn't look like a setting. Manager options? No. But yes, that's very annoying that I can't see splits on this screen. I have to go into a player's um I have to go into individual player stats to see splits, which is just a little bit annoying. And I'd like to be able to see that on that screen. Anyways, versus righties, you're getting the job done. Versus lefties, you're getting the job done. No, you're pretty pathetic against lefties. That's discouraging. Maybe you're just not a very good player. Which is honestly a fair statement. Like, that's probably the issue with most of our team, is that we just don't have very many good players. I mean, we're scoring okay this year. Like, we are winning the division somehow. Um, in some fashion, we are winning the division. Possibly through bribery, I'm thinking is a possibility. Shane Smith is losing velocity at 27. That's discouraging. Brady Montgomery is getting worse. Javier Mongolin is getting better. Nice. Abel Fuerte is throwing harder, which is very good. I mean, he's still a very long ways away from being a useful pitcher, but I appreciate that he's putting the work in. Luke Bell is throwing harder. Some of my pitchers are getting a little bit better. Miguel Salazar just has a very live fastball now, which is very exciting. Kyle Markovitz, not so much. Why did your rating crash when you got better? When you lost stamina, oh, you lost a lot of stuff. That's what killed you. Yeah, we no longer think you'll strike people out, which is a little embarrassing. When you already have a pretty low velocity fastball, um, that's not a great sign. He's an 11th round pick. Who cares if he ever pans out? But I mean, he cares, but I don't care. All right, all right. Hmm. I don't like we have people in their 20s losing velocity. That concerns me. It makes me think like, oh, Jung hit 3 home runs in a game. That's pretty good. Colson Montgomery won on a rampage. We could have a little rampage as a treat. Ethan Pecco is pitcher of the month. Nice. He's having a great year. Like, he's having a truly exceptional year. Hogan. Aw, he's got a shoulder injury. That's unfortunate. All right. So, I don't know what to think about this team. The lineup is acceptable. Meadroth is still getting on base at a super high clip, so I'm happy to keep him at the top of the lineup. He's doing his job. He is struggling a little bit to play second base. I don't like that his zone rating is a bit low. If we look at his advanced fielding stats, what's his major malfunction here? Oh, it doesn't list the percentages here. Okay. Teal's actually declined a little bit. He's actually slowed down a little bit since the start of the season, but he's still pretty beneficial. He's still playing well. He's not playing as well. Vargas is getting warmer. He's not up to lukewarm instead of just tepid. Wilfred Veras is actually playing pretty effectively. This is a genuinely good season. So I'm looking forward to seeing him continue to develop. But so far, he at least looks like he is handling himself well, which is good to see. Jace Young is struggling. He's suffering from a big sophomore slump, which is a terrible sign when his start was so low. He's still getting on base. Like, his on base percentage is okay. He's hitting for some power. But overall, he's not very effective. And he's not handling third base that well. No, he's actually playing third base okay. Second base he was struggling with, so. Cam Fisher, you're a DH. A DH's job is to designatedly hit, and you're not doing it. I think they've rebalanced the formulas a bit, because even though his BABIP suggests he should be hitting in like the 230 to 240 range, he's consistently not doing that. And I know the strikeouts are high, but he's gone off to a great start. Who would I replace Fisher with, though, is the question. That's the question in front of us at this moment. Who would I replace him with? And the thing is, I don't have a ready replacement. There's some intriguing players a bit lower on. I think Rico Nishida has a decent future, maybe. We could try Pate Niels, I guess. We could bring up the Ely good player, the hovercraft of eels. I genuinely don't think he's got much of a future. I'm gonna be mean to that one guy. I think it's Around the World Sports who really likes him a lot. He is crushing AAA. At a certain point, he's gonna force me to try him out, and maybe he'll look better than his ratings. I mean, is he better than Cam Fisher? Maybe, but I still think like Fisher needs a little bit more time, a little bit more seasoning before I can definitively tell you that yes, he can't handle it or no, he can. I have a really, really barren high minors. All of my prospects are very, very young, which again doesn't surprise me, but it does concern me. Okay. So Fisher stays a little bit longer, I guess. Arteaga is fine. He's not here to be a great hitter. If he does provide offensive benefits, great. He's here to play defense effectively, which it seems like he's doing. He's not one of the best shortstops in recorded history, but he's pretty good, and I think that's helped the team out. Dominic Fletcher, is fine. He's nothing special, but again, he's fine. Yeah. Pitching, Patrick Sandoval is badly struggling. We take a look. His home runs have gone up a lot. He's walking a lot more people. I think this is just called age-related decline. Can he fix it? Maybe. But for right now, he's been a sore disappointment for our one major free agent signing in the offseason. Um, I remember reading somebody saying that players hit a wall unnaturally fast in this game when they hit 30. Hagen Smith is still badly struggling with both control and home runs. I feel like he's only 23 years old. I think maybe a change of scenery would benefit him. I have Sean Burke. I have Bernie Martinez. I have other choices. Maybe letting Hagen Smith blow out his arm for a team that's not really going anywhere is a good idea. I'm going to send him back to the minors. And then Jonathan Cannon is probably the best starter that's not currently in the major leagues. Let me go ahead and promote him. Let me bring him back. This isn't because Smith is performing poorly, although that's certainly part of it. It's more about I need him to be a better. I need him to keep improving because he's a lot of our future is riding on him. Caleb Ferguson is really struggling, but it's hard to go after relievers this early in the season. Um, Let me quickly do a check of the trade block, though. Let's see if there's anything of interest to me. All players. I could get Jacob DeGrom. I feel like that would be pretty stupid. I feel like that's not the kind of thing I'm looking for. Um, like, here's the thing. If I was anywhere near the postseason, if I genuinely thought we'd make the postseason this year, I would actually consider trading for him. But I don't think that we are. I definitely don't think that we're at that level, so I don't think that's very smart. Koyo Aoyagi is not very good. Yeah, we've already lost a ton of value, so I don't think there's anybody here that really interests me. Um, Trevor McGill is fun. Like, I'm not saying he's a bad pitcher. I'm just saying I don't think it matters. I don't think adding another reliever is going to change things for us in a meaningful way. Oh, something somebody pointed out for the combine. Let me see who did that so I can give them the appropriate credit. Um, Ironhead also recommended that we consider doing a second shortlist. I think that's really helpful. I'll start doing that probably, maybe. Um, Around the World Sports 3063 tells me if you do the combine from the scouting tree, it'll tell me how busy the scout is, so I don't burn him out. Let's try it. Full drop combine players. I see here. Okay, my scout is currently free. There we go. So in this upcoming draft, we are I think we're picking fifth or sixth. Okay. So let's start by looking at all the players and their raw potential. Tons and tons and tons of options here, which is fantastic news. It's great. All right. He is lightly scheduled. Let's keep it up. Occasionally, I'm not scouting Arturo Cruz deliberately because he's a reliever, and I don't want to waste a scouting slot on him. He is occupied. He could be a little occupied. I feel like occupied is an okay state to be in. Like, is it at some point going to say he's too occupied, or is it just always occupied? Okay, busy. All right. Let me remove one of these guys. Welch. Oh, Welch gets removed. easily. There you go. Oh, I see. Okay. So each day he looks at one person. So if we get really, really high accuracy, I can take someone off the list. So we're going to be a little bit more deliberate about the scouting combine this year, and we'll see if we have any significant impact as a result. God damn it, Cleveland. That's rude. You're a rude person, Cleveland. The entire team is rude. From top to bottom. Here we go. Let me simulate a day and see where we're at. All right, we're working on it. We're working on it. And one more day. Okay, we're getting accuracy, but we're not getting a lot of it. One day of scouting, I think this is probably fine. There we go. Combine is done. Okay. Really, everybody likes Victor Sanchez for some reason. Because of his power. Yeah, power is always a beneficial thing. You're gonna miss 3 days with a abdominal strain. That sucks. Schultz, you dumb fucker. You're our best pitcher, and it's not particularly close. I'd like it if you didn't miss several games because you're being fucking stupid. I mean, I guess this is the end of Cam Fisher as a White Sox. I'm not gonna cut him or anything, but he's been given opportunities and he's not capitalizing. So we're gonna go and just throw him on the IL. Okay. Who do we have that is ready for Major League playing time? It feels like Montgomery isn't playing. Which is an interesting side note. Like, it seems like he's not playing. I'd like you to force him to play left field, please. I want him playing every single day. He's not going to get better if you keep benching him. And I know why. I know why this is happening. We take a look at... Where is it? Where is it? Options? Nope. Mm-mm. Where is it? There's a setting that decides how you choose to play players. It's not under rules, is it? Yeah, this says current ratings instead of potential ratings. So I think current ratings is the better play for the most part, but since you have to just force it, because right now they're probably playing Starlin Thompson all the time, which is kind of silly and kind of dumb. Doesn't solve the Cal Fisher issue though, which is who comes in. You know what? Let's try it. Let's give him the opportunity. Peyton Eels, I'd like you to be my designated hitter, please. I'd like you to at least try it out. I'm gonna Blaze Alexander DH against lefties, just to get him some reps too. There we go. And we'll just see what happens. We'll see how this works out. But I think this is as good as any strategy we could have. And Mr. Eels here does have a pretty drastic split. So hopefully the hovercraft full of eels can prove to be a quality baseball player. That would be a nice thing to have. Because he's a cool story. I want him to be successful. But I can't afford to be too sentimental. Because we want to be a competitive team. Yeah. We've increased attendance, but the fans haven't been whatever. Okay. Real talk. I despise this particular goal really much. Like, the game needs to recognize that international amateurs take a long time to hit the major leagues. So he shouldn't be bitching and moaning about it. He should just accept it. Holy shit. Oh, other White Sox. That's less exciting. Um okay. Personnel contract, right. I don't think McKinven is that good. He's really good at teaching running, and that's it. I think we're probably ready for a new bench coach. So I think that's the thing that happens. Our team trainer is doing fine. Um, I think keeping him around is a worthy goal, but we will be getting a new bench coach. Everybody else in the minors gets an extension, and one person wasn't so sure yet. It is Danny Gonzalez, who's actually pretty terrible. So thank you for saving me from that. He's a bad coach. All right, that is sorted. Let's quickly read all our messages and then sim to the end of June. Kenley Jansen is grouchy. Well, have you tried pitching better? Is that something that you've tried? Here's the thing: if somebody wants you, they can have you, but nobody's gonna want you at this point. Um, that's just how it is. If you want to be the closer, pitch better. But granted, we don't have a good closer. We don't really have a very good bullpen ERA. We need some better pitching performances. That's for certain. If you are going to be successful in the postseason, we need somebody to take over in a very meaningful way. And right now, nobody is doing that. But I will trade Kenley Jansen because of being a whiny bitch. And that's not on. What do we got here? What do we got? I will happily take Trevor McGill over Kenley Jansen. Like, it's not even close to me. We get a better, younger pitcher for less money. There's literally no downside. Done. Just done. Mr. McGill, I think, becomes the closer, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, you're giving up too many home runs. That's problematic. So what's gonna happen is this. Caleb Ferguson, you're gonna go down to being a middle reliever. You're gonna shift to being our seventh inning setup guy. And then Trevor McGill comes in and closes. I think this makes a lot of sense. That's a nice little upgrade. It doesn't really cost me anything, and I'm pretty happy about it. Is our ballpark prone to home runs? Is that a thing for us? It does boost home runs a bit. It does boost home runs a little bit. That's good to know. That's valuable data. It's valuable information. I don't know why the Yankees made that trade. I genuinely don't know why. But I will happily take it. But it's possible that he's know something that we don't. Like maybe he's addicted to like painkillers or something. Maybe Gabriel Nard. Oh my lord, really? I think I picked him deliberately for his name, but every time I just feel so bad for him. Blake Burkhalter. Eh. Some people are getting better, but we're not seeing the kind of leaps that I'd like to see from our players. Yeah. Nick Webb, as he started throwing harder, has lost some of his control. That's disappointing. Makes you a little sad. Sam Mooneyham, same deal. Um, Luke Geske is rapidly improving. Um, he added a new pitch. He's throwing harder. He's still got his raw ratings. Um, I like the cut of his jib. Okay. June's best batter was Ronaldo Caccio. Okay. All right. Short lists. Let me make some short lists. Okay. So we're gonna have former Sox. These are for when I trade people away, and I'd like to see what they're up to. Which I think is Austin Martin here. I think he's one of the guys I traded away. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna shift you over to. I'm gonna remove you from. No, 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 no. I did a stupid. I did a stupid. I should have added him to the new list. It was gonna be former Sox. We create a new draft list, a new short list, and this is gonna be draft picks. There we go. I'm gonna have other short lists down the line, but I think those are two good ones to start with. So I'm not gonna worry about moving people over. Am I? Am I? Oh, let me make one more draft list as well. Let me do this for not draft picks. The ones that I just want to follow because I decided to pass up on them. There we go. There we go. I do look at the current roster. It's fine for right now. 11 game shutdown streak. I have a personal message. Nice. I'm here for that. Okay. This looks like a really good draft. Let me auto draft until it's my next pick. Okay. All right. My scout recommends these four players. I will consider them with due consideration, but let's start with Jamie Albertini. Jimmy Albertini, excuse me. There's a lot to like about him. But he's fast, he's a good fielder, he's very smart and hardworking. Um, but doesn't have a lot of power. And although he'll definitely hit doubles and triples, and that's been shown up in his high school rankings, I am a little concerned. I think there's a future where I do draft Albertini, but it's not this one. Let's look at Randy Kamak. Again, a decent hitter, but you have some pretty big red marks, and more importantly, you're not a shortstop, you're a left fielder. That makes you less interesting to me. Jaden Charles is really, really good. Cutter, changeup, curveball, throws pretty hard for a lefty. Already 32 overall, which means is a good chance that he will develop quickly. Yeah, I think he's a really good pitcher, and I think it would be foolhardy and extreme for me not to draft him. As much as we need hitting, and we do, he's super advanced for his age, and I think that just makes him the pick. And I will meet his demand easily. I've got loads of money. So much money. Done. All right. Um, Dan Grunert is not as impressive a pitcher. He's still very good. He's still very good. Um, 3++ pitches, not something that you're used to seeing out of a high school pitcher. Good control, pretty good stuff. Velocity isn't great. Grunert is definitely somebody I could see drafting. I could see this happening, but I want to make sure we get a hitter as well. Pedro Lira. Interesting. He reminds me a bit of Jason Kendall as a catcher whose value is almost entirely batting average, except Jason Kendall could also steal bases, which he cannot. I still think he's worth looking at, though. I think he's actually a really good fit for us, and it gives us a nice little bat to groom and improve on. He's also very cheap. I like it. Moving on. Okay, we do need high level relievers, and I think a guy like Jamie Borg is a good choice here. Like he's a very good choice. He's got great tools, fastball slider, throws pretty hard. There's nothing fancy about him, and he is a little bit dumb. But I think his physical tools make him worth taking. I believe that, and I will give him his value there. All right, auto draft until next pick. Okay, we like Elijah McFadder in the second round, or sorry, in the third round. I bet we like him even more now. Let's take a look at him. What is his deal? I don't have a lot of scouting accuracy on him. It looks like we didn't scout him very heavily. But what we do see, I like a lot. This concerns me. This concerns me. But it might get better. And he's got excellent pitches. So I think he's okay. I think he's okay. I think he's a reasonable choice. I do think we're going a little bit too pitcher heavy in this draft, but I think it's worth it. So let's go ahead and grab McFadass, and let's offer him his bonus demand. All right, we got to get hitters now. We've got to get hitters. And I have a lot of money, right? What is Tyler Heideman's deal here? Interesting. Okay. The offensive skill set is here. Like, this is a very well-rounded, high-quality hitter. He maybe won't hit a ton of home runs, but the rest of his skills are quite high. And I think he's got a chance to be quite successful. He's not a shortstop. And he makes a few too many errors. Is he any better in the outfield? He really isn't. But he is a really good hitter. However, I think the fact he can't handle any position all that well. I mean, he could handle third base okay. Like, he wouldn't be an embarrassment at third base. But the error proneness really concerns me. And that's especially bad for a third baseman. I talked about this in my Monday video, where if somebody is constantly like third baseman with that make errors tend to make the kinds that result in two bases, which is not good. I'm gonna put him on my not draft picks list. I think that's a reasonable choice. I think we shy away from him a little bit. You really like Dan Bolton, huh? I mean, I'm listening. What about Mike Fontenot? Eh... I don't know, man. I don't know that he necessarily entices me. Um, if you're from Solon, I don't know why you're going to Garfield. That's kind of stupid when Solon has a perfectly good high school. I grew up in this general area in Ohio when I was a kid. Yeah, I don't like him. I don't think he's that good a player. You like John Kenny? I like John Kenny a little bit better. He's more well-rounded, but he's also stupid, and I don't want a dumb player unless they're like a top-tier talent. Steve Riddle is not that good. He's got like there's a lot to like about him. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I'm saying that his skill set is one that doesn't excite me. Um Jared McCrary. Okay, what's your deal? Oh no. No, 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 no. Mm-mm. You're far too limited. You're far too limited. You're a bad bet. I'm gonna shortlist him too. I just want to see if it turns out that I'm right. But a guy whose only skill is hitting for average is going to badly struggle in the major leagues, especially when he's not a very good defender. I guess he can pitch a little bit, but I don't think that makes a difference. Joseph Angle, I like him a little bit more, but I feel like we're running into the same issue that we have with Cam Fisher currently, which is I think he'll just strike out too much. But he does have elite power and elite batting eye to a degree that Fisher doesn't, so maybe he'll turn out okay. He's also a switch hitter, which I don't ignore. I think I'm gonna take Joseph Angle, unless Jesus Delgado impresses me. He could stick it short. He wouldn't be very good at it. No. I think we bet on the bat. I think we bet on Mr. Angle's bat and see how he turns out. And then auto draw to my next pick. Is Nick Goodman a good man? Mm, he's got some batting skills. He's an okay outfielder. Or sorry, he's an okay infielder. He's certainly not terrible at it. You know what? What if we did draft him? What if we drafted not Mr. Delgado? Where'd he go? Nick Goodman. Yeah, we can do that. We can draft him. Done. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. That a guy with Riddle's raw talent keeps sliding. I'm gonna draft him now. Um, and I'm gonna say, even if he doesn't turn out to be very, very good, I got him in the 7th round. Like, that's perfectly fine with me. Mike Fontenot. I guess he's okay. There's something to like about him. It's like he's totally useless. I think Kenny's a little bit better overall, but he's also kind of stupid. I think we go ahead and take Fontenot for free. Somebody finally took John Kenny. Who took Kenny? I'm gonna add him to my not picks list. I don't think he's ever gonna be any good, but I'm curious to see how he turns out. Speaking of how things turn out, let me start adding all of you guys to my draft picks list. Steve Riddle has the chance to be the steal of the draft. I genuinely believe that. Okay. Right. We really like Dustin Cantania for some reason. I wonder why. What's his deal? I mean, he is pretty good. There's a lot to like about him. He's got a fairly well-rounded offensive skill set. He's a competent catcher. He's already 22, which means his time in the minors should be fairly brief. I'm here for it. Let's do it. Let's acquire Dustin Cantania and chuck him on the chuck him on the draft picks list. Danny Truini has a ton of talent. I think this is fine. I don't think he's a catcher. I think that's a fair criticism. He's not a catcher. But I think he's at least a competent outfielder, and I think his skill set is one of interest to me. You just been drafted, son. Congratulations. I already shortlisted him, right? Yes, I did. Amazing. All right. Narvaez is a one-trick pony. It's a very, very good trick, but it is a one-trick pony. I think he's somebody I pass on, but that I do shortlist just because I want to see what happens to him. But I'm not going to draft him. He doesn't hold any interest for me. Delgado keeps slipping. I know he's real stupid, so maybe I don't bother, but I think I'm going to put him on my not draft picks list and just see how I want to follow his career. Brian Kemp is a hard no. Like, I don't think he has any chance to be good in the major leagues. I think he's doomed. Doomed forever. Control's an issue. But he throws really hard and he's got a lot of upside with his velocity. I think he is worth drafting. So, Steve Lahan, welcome to the draft picks list. Done. All right, we're going to take a moment and we're going to look at this sortable list. I want to start sorting people by things like potential BABIP. Let me just do this. Gabe McDowell is a pretty bad outfielder, but I don't think that's as big an issue as it might seem to be. I think we draft him. I think he's a good fit. Or Sean Dow? No, I think we take Gabe McDowell. I think this is the guy that I'm willing to draft. Salvi Malloy. You're kind of a one-trick pony. Like, you don't have a position. Like, you don't have a position in the major leagues. But maybe that's okay for a low draft pick like this. For a 13th round draft pick, maybe it's okay that they're not the highest of pedigrees. Let me go back to the draft homepage and let's see who we think we should be taking here. Okay, you really like Matt Pinner and Eric Hinkle. Let's look at Eric Hinkle, shall we? Maybe. Maybe. Maybe not. Like Mike Williams. I like Mike Williams. Let's take Mike Williams. Done. I mean, David Goodwin is unironically, if he has a chance to develop well, could be a really good relief pitcher for us, and I think we take him. I need relief pitchers. I need a little bit more than I've got from my draft classes here. I should get some water while I cogitate. Why are we offering all of these relievers so we're not talking about Chris Torrance? What's his issue? His arm is finished already. That's as hard as he's gonna throw. Understood. Doesn't give up many home runs. Has some control issues, but his fastball sinker cutter. I think he's a perfectly fine choice. I think he's a very decent pitching option. They could have a very quick path to the major leagues. Okay, if Pinner hadn't been selected, I was going to draft him now because I saw he kept slipping. But maybe there's a reason for that. Maybe he's just not very good. Maybe. And you are a land of contrasts, Josh Masty. As a guy who throws slowly and as an extreme fly ball hitter pitcher, but you also your best pitch is a sinker. I don't think so. I don't think Masty interests me. I will not draft picks him, but I'm not going to take him. Rahelio Alvarez is pretty decent. There's a lot to like here. Control's not so good. Sadaki Yonesaki is terrible. He's genuinely bad. Like, I know he has superficially high contact, it's because he doesn't strike out, but he's not very good behind the plate. And he doesn't have secondary offensive characteristics. I think he's a bad choice. Logan Dunn isn't terribly interesting either. So maybe I just look for my own people. Maybe. Eric Alsop, what's your deal? And I am lacking in being impressed here. Eric Powers isn't special, but I think he's good enough. I think he is a worthy draft pick. I guess I can also throw him on my draft picks list. Drafted. Done. We've only got 3 more picks. Let's go to the sortable list and let's look for physical freaks like Chris Brown here. Let's do it. I don't know what your skill level is, but you hit for power maybe, so you're in the system. Welcome aboard. And then any good defensive players? We look at hitters. Are there really good defensive players for the 18th round? Aaron Truss is not bad. Um, I don't think he's got much of a future in the major leagues. I think his bat is just way too weak. But I don't hate him. Jared and Delicato, what a name. What an incredible name. I think I'll take him. Okay, it's mostly the name. But I also think he actually could be a decent player under the right circumstances. All right. Let's look for pitching potential, and let me just find somebody who just strikes motherfuckers out. Only pitchers, please. Thank you. Let me take Tyler Tabor. Sure. Done. We did it, gamers. We have completed the draft. Nice. Oh, this feels like a pretty okay draft class. It's certainly not one that I think is going to be transformative. And I still think we're lacking the big ticket offensive players. But I think we're getting a really good pitching backbone. And I think there's a lot of chances for these guys to move somewhat quickly, especially Jamie Borg. If Jamie Borg takes to the majors the way that takes to the high minors the way that I think he will, I could easily see him cracking the major league roster as soon as maybe at the what you call it deadline, the roster expansion deadline, but probably next year. I hope he's got a very rapid path to the major leagues, because Lord knows we could use the help in the bullpen. That's for sure. All right, Jaime Borg is thinking about things. He's thinking about his life, which is understandable. It's a lot to think about. You have to play for the Chicago White Sox after all. Maybe that's a big deal for him. All-Star game rosters have been announced. Do you have multiple All-Stars this time? Maybe. Pete Fairbanks and nobody else. Well, okay, fine. Not even Kyle Teal made the roster. I guess Wilfred Veras is the only other player that's really having a great season. And he's not as good as the other left fielders, so I guess I get it. I suppose. Artiago should have gotten some votes, maybe. Meh. We're a team that's slightly above 500. I'm not necessarily upset that we have, only one or two All Stars. That doesn't really bother me that much. Josh Bloom, Jared Tucker, Rodrigo Chavez, Ronaldo Caccio, Chris Ransford. We got lots of people on the minor league All Star game. That's fun. That's a fun thing. Let's go to the trading deadline. We have Cam Fisher back. How has Mr. Eels done? He's done okay. Hmm. I will take the rate upgrade, even if it means taking on a little bit of salary, but this is more about getting rid of Fisher than it is necessarily about getting a huge upgrade. All right. I'm not going to take Adolis Garcia. That's stupid. I'm not going to take on that much money just for the fun of it. Zach York is uninteresting. Let's take Jackson Wiggins and see if they'll throw in Zach York, maybe. You can try it. Okay. I'm listening. What about Fernando Cruz? Okay. Well, it was worth a shot, right? Like, it was worth seeing if maybe they had all gotten drunk at the same time. Cole Mathis could be interesting. He could be very interesting. How about Cole Mathis? No, Mathis is too much for you. I mean, I guess that's fair. Ryan Gallagher? Question mark? I think I take this deal if they're willing to offer it. If that is an offer that they're willing to accept, I'm gonna put you on rehab for now, just so that the game lets me continue. Almost, you're asking for really good players, and I don't think Gallagher is that good. I don't think Gallagher offers me that much interest. Brooks Capel is nothing remarkable. I like Justine Florentino a lot better. Let me see if this grabs you. Almost. What if I offered you $2 million? If he says no, I'm just gonna. Yeah, I'm not giving you a great prospect. He's not that fucking good. My money is gone. I remove Florentino and I just take this deal. I think it's fine. Um, Cam Fisher, former sock. Oh, I also want to add another short list. Now that I'm thinking about it, that I'm gonna call um incoming prospect socks. My thinking here is these are going to be people that I trade for that I want to keep a close eye on to see how they do over time. All right. Who are my lottery tickets this time around? Who are players that we're about to lose that people might be interested in? I mean, Trevor McGill is one such pitcher. What does he want to stay here? He wants very little money. I'd rather keep him, to be perfectly honest. He's willing to take a pay cut to stay with the White Sox. That's the kind of guy we like to see here. I think Iglesias is likely done. I'm willing to put him on the trade block and see what kind of offers we get. Yeah. So much with the trading deadline. I'm more looking to add this deadline than I am to not add. Like, because here's the thing. There is a universe where we're actually incredibly successful. Oh, Bryce Bensi has elected to retire. That's rude. I can't promote Rob Nunn because he won't consider it a promotion. He'll just ignore me. I mean, if I could have Dave Carroll, I would be very pleased with that. But I'd actually rather have Dickie Brown, not just because his name is Dickie, which is funny, but because he seems like he's a really good coach. Hunter Harvey doesn't move the needle. Like, in any definition of the word needle, he doesn't move it. Okay, McGill took the sign. We have a good reliever, which is pretty nice. All right. A lot of mid-tier relievers being offered up. That's good to know. I feel like Lars Newbar would be actually an okay acquisition, maybe. But I think outfield is actually part of the universe we're actually pretty good at. Like Varys is doing fine. Kramel's doing baseball things. Yeah. I feel like while there's definitely room for us to get better, I don't know that Newbar is better. Especially as a rental. I mean, he's probably better than Taylor Trammell, right? Like he has to be, but it looks like he looks like he's struggled the last few years. He hasn't really hit for decent average in a while, and the rest of his skills aren't good enough. So I don't think he is a worthwhile acquisition. You get Pete Alonso? I don't think so. I mean, maybe, but also probably not. Hmm. There's just nobody here. This is a disappointing trade deadline. Everyone's looking to get rid of like mid-tier relievers, and none of that interests me. Yeah. I have an offer. You'll give me Sam Henkes, who's pretty good, and Javi Reyes, who's got a chance to be pretty good. I'm not giving up Luciano yet. I haven't given up on his ability to be a valuable player at the major league level. Brian Abernathy, you can have. Brian Abernathy, I think, is a one-trick pony. So if you would take just Abernathy, I will make this trade. Yeah, I can look at our prospects and see if there's anybody else that I have a pretty high chance isn't going to work out very well for us. What about Kyle Karros, actually? See, Kyle Karros is pretty limited offensively, and his only good position is third base. I feel like trading him is worthwhile if that's somebody that moves the needle for you. No, I'm not giving you one of the best prospects on my team. Yeah, I think we just don't do the trade anymore. Okay, actually, what if I change the trade this way? I don't give you Luciano, but I don't take Reyes from you. Yeah, I'm not giving you any good players for him, but I will throw in $4 million. Enter. Yeah, it's not making a difference. I don't care this much. So I think I just move on from this particular trade. Clear trade. Clear trade. I don't want to give up Luciano. I still think Luciano has a little bit too much to offer for me to give him up for basically an upgraded reliever, which isn't that interesting to me. Wei Chi Huang? Probably not. I think we're just done. I think we're just done. I don't think we just keep offering the same trade over and over again. Like you think if you just ask me the exact same question 4 more times that I'll take it. Yeah. Kind of a dull trade deadline, but I think we made our more important trades before the deadline, which I think happens pretty frequently. Um yeah. I wasn't willing to give up Luciano. I still think Luciano has some upside. He's having a good year in the minors. He's probably going to take one of our 28-man spots. Because Jace Young has not been very good. I feel pretty strongly that his time has come and gone. And I think Luciano might have a chance to be our starting third baseman next year, especially because having a good year in AAA. That's important to me. It's important to me that he's putting the work in because now I have a sense of him actually being a decent player. Maybe. Um, yeah, I don't know Casal to make the postseason this year. That's fucking stupid. We're not that good a team. If we did make the postseason, we might do something fun. But I don't like our chances. I don't think we'd have a very long postseason run, even if we did make it. That's just how I feel. Take it or leave it. I thought this game was KC suck, but it's actually KC sock, which maybe makes them the ideal White Sox. Maybe. Jamie Borg has lost ability. That's disappointing. I was hoping he'd have a quick time through the majors, but evidently that's not going to happen. Herman Marquez, a starter of the month. Tanner McDougal, a starter of the month. Okay. Do we bench Young now? Is Young done? I think he might be. Let's go ahead and bring up Luciano to play third base. I feel like he's had such a good year in the minor leagues. He deserves an opportunity to show that he is a worthy major leaguer. Maybe. Or maybe not. You've had a season and 2/3 in the major leagues, and you've provided to be exactly replacement level. Well, I still think there's another level here. I think you maybe need to figure it out in the minor leagues. Luciano, welcome back. And you're going to be playing probably third base, I think. I could have Meadroth the third, I guess, but I think you're a little bit better suited for third because you have a really great arm. So Presto Changeo, you're a third baseman now, and then you're just going to slide in right here. Is there anybody that's hitting really, really well that I can move up the lineup? Dominic Fletcher actually probably deserves to hit fifth more than Luciano. So we'll do that. Okay. Taylor Trammell is pretty bad. He's not terrible, but he's not good either. Do I have any ready replacements? Are there any minor leaguers that are looking for a chance to shine? Roldy Munoz, maybe. It's gonna be a lot of just letting people settle things out. Like that's the thing that has to happen. I did do this, right? I did let you control promotions and demotions. I did. Brilliant. Hagen Smith probably comes back to join the team when rosters expand, I think is fair. Maybe. Bryce Matthews, maybe? Maybe. Braden Montgomery. He's having a good year in the minors, and I have to add him to the 40 man anyway. I guess it just makes sense. Judd Fabian, I would like to designate you for assignment. No, I don't have to do that right now. Never mind. Let's see how things change a little bit. If we made the playoffs, I'd be really happy. I think it would be a big sign of how much progress we had made. That said, if we don't make the postseason, my feelings won't be hurt either. I still think we're a couple of players away from being consistently competitive. It doesn't help that we lack stars. That's not true. We have one star. Noah Schultz is our one star. Yeah, I think we're gonna miss the postseason. I think we've picked the wrong time of year to start melting down. Wolford Veras is having a good season though. That's a fun development. Yeah, Patrick Sandoval probably needs to go. Probably. Probably. Oh, you're gonna miss 2 days. That's whatever. Don't really care. Hagen Smith is gonna come back, and then we're gonna call up Braden Montgomery. Now that Montgomery's on the main roster, I'm not going to have him play every day though. This is just his cup of coffee to figure out if he can handle the minor league. To see figure out if he can handle the major leagues or not. All right. Are you better than Taylor Trammell? Probably. You're also a switch hitter, which I appreciate. I like the fact you're a switch hitter. It means I can play you against either side. How's Password doing? Password's also kind of struggling. What if I just started you at right field for the rest of the season and we saw how that worked out for us? What if we did that? Like, neither Trammell nor Garcia are good enough to be playing all that frequently. So I think this makes sense. And then we're going to go to a 6-man rotation, and we're going to let Hagen Smith be our 6th starter. All right, guys, we're going to do something. I know it doesn't have a ton of seasons, but I think he's worth it no matter what. Can I get a team option when you turn 31, please? Does this grab you? Yeah. We're basically getting a pretty good deal with him, and I think he's a good enough pitcher that it's worthwhile to me to offer him an extension now. Yeah. Before he gets really expensive. Let's go and simulate to the end of September. Like, it's not out of the realm possibility that we still make the play. Okay, Casey Mize is now healthy. Patrick Sandoval I'm stuck with for next year as well. Who's the most demotable to the minor leagues? Probably Iriarte. Like, if the Casey Mize, the Casey Mize experiment is to work out, I have to give him meaningful at bats pitching. Might even help us make the postseason. I don't know, but maybe. And then Mize slots in as probably our 2nd starter, actually. Let's do that. Let's just see, okay? Let's see what he's got to offer us, and then we can go from there. I think Sandoval was a mistake. It's not that terrible, but I do think we're overpaying for a player that's not very good. Okay, Schultze, I'm gonna put you on the IL. If it means you were supposed to miss the postseason, but I don't want you to be hurt. And it's more important to me that I shut you down than that I get a couple extra weeks out of you. We have a lot riding on your left arm, and so I don't want you to have any kind of career-ending injury or anything. Oh, Fabian cleared the roster. That's great. I mean, you already kind of got lapped anyway, so enjoy the minor leagues, I guess. To bring up Starlin Thompson? Probably not. Probably I bring. Can Kyle Karras play outfield? He can't. I don't really care at this point. I will bring back Karras and Iriarte, I guess. I guess that's fine. Um, and we did get the big deal with Schultz, which is really cool. I'm happy for us that we were able to make that deal happen. Before his demands got really ridiculous. Schultz can now come back, so Iriarte goes right back to the minors, and Schultz gets his rotation spot back. Our ace has returned. I'm genuinely surprised that Noah Schultz has not been to an All-Star game yet. Um, there's still more to him. There's still another level for him. But if he ever hits that level, look out, man. He's gonna be really special. Casey Mize, I don't mind so much if he misses a start or two. He just came back from a pretty serious injury. It's to be expected that he might have some. I was gonna say ring rust. It's like no, he's not a pro wrestler. He's a baseball player. I don't know what you would call it in baseball though. Batter of the month. Wilfred Veras is getting hot at the right time, which is excellent news. LJ Jones is getting better. Okay. We still have a chance, guys. We still have a chance. It's not a great chance, but it is a chance. Not Fidel Castro. Don't tell me that he's hurt. Wait, how am I still in it? How have I not been eliminated? Okay. I have one game left. Oh, the wild card. Interesting. And there's three wild cards, right? So that means if we win, we're in. Can we bring it all together? Can we defeat Houston? Guys, I don't wish to alarm you. We just made the postseason. Because Wilfred Veras won the fucking batting title. What the hell? I'm super into it. I had no idea this was coming this season. Not even a little bit. He's not a very good left fielder, but whatever. Wow. Not expected. Completely and utterly unexpected. Who are we leaving off the roster? I'm fine with all this. We can just rock with this. Oh, we're leaving. Who's gonna play right field for us? I guess Password can do it. He's not the worst choice, maybe, possibly. You know, really, why we're winning, right? It's Peyton Eels. No, it's actually not Peyton Eels. He's pretty trash. Sorry. At least in this game, I'm sure he's a lovely human being. But don't sleep on Arteaga playing a mostly full season at shortstop. I think he has significantly improved this team. we'll do a year in review when the year's actually over with, which shockingly it is not yet. Let me do my playoff coverage. I always like simming game by game. I feel like it adds more drama and tension. Guys, if we won the World Series this year, it would be the funniest thing ever. I would be just laughing my ass off. You'd hear me laughing and you'd be like, oh shit, where'd his ass go? I'd be like, it fell off. You know? All right. Come on, Schultze. Damn. Not his fault. It looks like this is a really tight game, and it came down to the bullpens. They did rough him up early, though, which is a little disappointing. It looks like they jumped on him awfully quickly. So, can Casey Mize get it done? Maybe. A bunch of people retiring. Nobody too important. Kai Bush is out. I don't know why I care about that, but okay. The curse of Sam Hentges. Okay. Low key, Casey Mize had a pretty awesome start in the postseason. Pretty great. The bullpen did really, really well. In fact, our one error wasn't what? So it's his own error. You fucking potato. Damn. You know what though? We made a gigantic improvement. Remember, just last season, we won 55 games. And even if we were a little bit lucky this year, I still think we improved as a team from top to bottom. We're a better team than we were last year. Are we a good team? Hell no. We've got a long ways to go. But I have a little bit more confidence now that we can get there eventually. Sure. He can rejoin the roster or whatever. Okay. A personal message. More random people retiring. The Angels and the Orioles. Okay. I hear you. I'm listening. Kane Dean from Australia. What a name. It looks like we got Dodgers and Orioles again. It really is the 1970s. Damn, well done, Orioles. I think that's two in a row, if I'm not mistaken. I think they won last year as well. I get a solid season score. Nice. And I completed an owner goal. All right. We'll make decisions next episode. I feel like this one has already run a little bit longer than I expected, which is good. I enjoy it when the series has good things going here. By the way, I want to take a quick moment here to thank AJ Bianchi for his kind words. Their kind words. I don't know who they are. So they appreciate the fact that I'm always candid, and I always will be. So yeah. Okay, so what went well, what didn't go well? Where do we go from here? Let's start with the regular players. Position plays, that's what they're called. Kyle Teal'c had a really good year. I still think signing him long term was the right decision. I still think we're getting a pretty good bargain. If we're remembering that $10 million is considered to be roughly the price of one more, we're basically getting him for a song. He's very effective. He's really good defensively, and he helps us with the pitching staff. So I don't really think there is. I don't think he's the issue. I do need to be more of an offensive leader, which he hasn't been yet. So I think that's why we're really missing a top tier hitter to really take this team to the next level. If we could get a great offensive bat, almost regardless of position, to take some of the pressure off of Teal and let him just be himself, I think the rest of the team looks a lot better. Aberson Artug, we just looked at him. Tremendous job of playing great defense. I had a pretty good offensive year as well. A lot to like about him. A solid player. Chase Meadroth, all the man does is get on base, but that is such a crucially important skill. Um, he played second base pretty well. He wasn't anything amazing, but he's pretty good, and he stole bases at a really intelligent clip. Um, he's not like, what kind of player is he? He's very useful. He's very good, but he is not the kind of player you build around. He is sad that we lost in the postseason. I'm sad too, but I'll get over it. I'm sure you will too. Completely unexpected, utterly unexpected that he would have just waltzed into the major leagues and hit 300, win a batting title, and also hit 23 home runs. Do I expect him to be this way every year? I don't. But I think we just enjoy it for right now. I think we just enjoy the moment and see what we can get out of him next year. Yeah. I think that's a fair statement. Miguel Vargas had a low-key very good year. Like low-key. 3 wins is pretty impressive. Do I wish he gave us more? I always do. But I think he's at least earned himself the benefit of the doubt. If his early career was maybe a little bit disappointing, it looks like he's trying to make the effort to get better. And he did perform reasonably well this year. Jorge Barosa, in limited time, I think had a chance to thrive. I'm still not going to let him start. I don't trust him, but I still think he did quite well. Trammell was decent. Dominic Fletcher, I think, was pretty good. The bat is disappointing, but the glove is there. The glove is absolutely there. And that is very useful. Password, I think, is replaceable. I think he is replaceable. Yeah. And Marco Luciano played really poorly, as did Peyton Eales. How did you look so terrible? I mean, okay, you didn't hit at all, which is fair. You handled third base okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, I've seen better, I've seen worse. I will take it. How about the pitching? How did we do pitching wise? What do the numbers tell us? It tells Paddock Sandoval actually had a really good year. I know I spent a lot of time shitting on him and saying he was a bad pitcher, but he did 2 things that Ward loves. One, he threw a lot of innings, and 2, he struck a lot of people out. I still think he wasn't as good as I was hoping, but I think he's okay. Kyle Wright has been an underrated addition to this roster. I know he doesn't look amazing. He still gives up way too many home runs. But we're getting 170 innings for bargain basement prices. One of the reasons we have so much money is that we're spending our money smartly. We're spending it on players that give us a good return on our investment. But we need actual more talent to get to the next level. Although he's perfectly cromulent. Trevor McGill was a nice pickup. The rest of the rotation, not as good. Angel Chavilli had a really bad year. We also didn't. He did go quite a few innings, but he gave up way too many home runs. He's got to work on that. So, on the whole, I'm impressed with this team. I think we did really well considering everything that we dealt with. And I think we genuinely have a chance to be a really good team if we can just get a little more consistency. If Noah Schultz gives me one more year of 170 plus innings, I think we'll be in amazing shape. And we can maybe take the training wheels off a little bit. We can remove that pitch count. Still a lot of room to grow, though. Still a lot of room. We need a signature player. I think that's our big concern here. Oh, I didn't re-sign that guy? Oh yeah, he sucked. That's why I let him go. That makes sense. Jaden Charles is the number 3 prospect in the major leagues. My 6th overall pick. I forgot his name. How are we doing as a minor system? We've got to be ranked quite highly because we've got a lot of really high potential guys that are just super far from the majors. Um, we're very close to actually doing the best minor league system. Just a handful of points there, which is cool. A new budget, nice. Okay. We can make some quick decisions here. We can make some very quick option decisions. Caleb Ferguson is a hard no. I'm not paying $8 million for a reliever that's not that good. Um, yeah, I think we tried and it didn't work out, and we can find someone to replace him. Pete Fairbanks is a very much let's bring him back. Um, I'm not saying he's a perfect pitcher, but I'm saying that he did quite well, and I see no reason not to reward that. Casey Mize is a definite yes. I know he didn't get a chance to pitch with us a ton, and I know he's got some injury history, but we're not paying very much for him, and he's got the chance to be a really good pitcher. So I think we execute the option there. All right, that is it, my friends. I hope you're enjoying the episode. On Monday, if you're a little newer to the game, I'm going to talk nothing about roster construction. That's going to be only roster construction on Monday. So hopefully that's something that you find useful. I'm going to talk about things like such as how I balance budgets, how I spend my money, and what I do as far as making decisions on things like the draft and things like free agency, trades, things of that nature. So hopefully you enjoy that if you decide to watch it. Until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.